Come closer, my dear. Tonight, I have a story that may change the way you see your own life.
Every morning before sunrise, Daniel opened his tiny watch shop at the end of an old village street. The shop was small, dusty, and almost empty. Daniel was nearly 60. His hair had turned silver, his hands were slower than they once were, and some days he earned barely enough to buy food. People often told him, "Daniel, you should close this shop. You're too old to start again." Daniel never argued. He simply smiled and continued repairing watches. One cold evening, as Daniel was preparing to close, a young boy walked into the shop. "Sir, can you fix this?" He placed a broken golden watch on Daniel's workbench. Daniel picked it up and examined it carefully. "This watch has been broken for a long time," he said. "My grandfather gave it to me," the boy replied. "It stopped working years ago." Daniel smiled. "Then it deserves another chance." He worked on the watch throughout the evening. He cleaned its tiny gears, replaced a damaged spring, and carefully adjusted its mechanism. Then suddenly, tick, 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 the watch started again. The boy's face lit up with happiness. "How much do I owe you?" Daniel shook his head. "Nothing." The boy looked confused. "Why did you fix it for free?" Daniel glanced toward an old wooden clock hanging on the wall. "Because someone once did something like that for me." The boy followed his gaze. Daniel began telling him about his childhood. When he was young, Daniel had dreamed of becoming a watchmaker. But his family was poor and many people laughed at his dream. His father was the one person who believed in him. One day, his father showed him the tiny parts inside an old clock and said, "Even the smallest part has a purpose." Those words stayed with Daniel. When people laughed at his dream, his father simply told him, "Then learn." So Daniel did. He didn't become skilled overnight. Every day he learned something new. One day he learned how to repair a spring. The next he studied a tiny gear. Then he learned how to clean delicate mechanisms. Years passed. Daniel never became rich, but he became better. One day, the boy looked around the humble shop and said honestly, "But you're still poor." Daniel smiled. "Yes." He paused. "But I'm not the same man I was yesterday." Years later, that little boy became a successful businessman. One day, he returned to the same village. But Daniel's little shop had changed. Above the door hung a large wooden sign. "Daniel's Watch School. Learn one skill every day." Inside, dozens of young people were learning how to repair watches. The man smiled when he saw Daniel. "Daniel." Daniel looked up. "You came back." The man took out the same golden watch. "You didn't just fix my watch," he said. "You taught me how to keep going." Daniel smiled gently. "Then pass it on." The man looked around at the young students, and finally he understood. That broken watch had once stopped. But the lesson Daniel gave him never did. He realized that a better life is rarely built in one great moment. It is built quietly, one small improvement at a time.